Hey guys, what I want to show you today is how we can still use synthetic division even if our divisor is not a linear divisor. As you see in the problem we've got on the board here, the divisor is a quadratic expression. We're not used to doing that with synthetic division. Most textbooks you look at, they'll say if you have a divisor that is of degree 2 or higher, that you're supposed to use long division. Now my students in the past, they don't like long division, especially not as much as they enjoy doing synthetic. They think synthetic is much simpler. So this is going to be a simpler method to do this division, not using long division, but synthetic style. So I'm going to start out the way I always do synthetic division. We're going to look at what we're going to divide here, the polynomial, the dividend, what you're going to divide into. Make sure you have all your terms listed in descending order, and make sure if you have any missing terms that you put zeros in their position. But in ours, we have everything we need. We have a cubic here, so that's going to be 3x cubed, 4x squared, minus 3x, and minus 20 is our constant. Now, normally in the divisor, if you have, let's say it was linear, like x plus 3, then we would use minus 3 as our divisor. We're going to do the same thing with this quadratic. Since I have a leading coefficient of 1, I'm okay, I don't have to divide anything out or anything like that. So I'm going to take this second position number and I'm going to change that from plus 3 to minus 3. So I'm going to use negative 3 as a divisor for this equation. And since the constant is also there, I need to use the opposite of it as well. So we're going to use negative 4 as our other divisor. So instead of having one divisor, I'm going to have 2 using synthetic division. So let's block those off. And we're going to have a little bit different process, but very similar to what you would normally do in regular synthetic division. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, bring down our first term like we always do. So we'll bring the 3 down. Now we're going to multiply. So I'm going to take this first divisor, negative 3 times 3. That gives me negative 9. So we're going to put that underneath that first number in that next column there. And then also, you're going to take the divisor negative 4 times 3. But the only thing we're going to do a little different is, since this is my second divisor, we're going to move to the right one position when we put the number in. So negative 4 times 3, that's negative 12. I'm going to scoot over here one position to the right. Now I can add this column like we always do. 4 and negative 9 makes negative 5. Okay? Now repeat the process of the multiplication. Negative 3 and negative 5 make positive 15. So we're going to put that in the next position on that row. Negative 4 times negative 5 makes positive 20. So we're going to put that in the next position on this row, positive 20. Now here's a good thing. Once I fill in the last row, last column position, I am done with this problem. All I need to do is finish adding my columns together. So, negative 3 plus 15, that would be 12. And then 12 minus 12 gives me 0 for that column. And then negative 20 plus 20 is also 0. So, we actually have our quotient now. If you're dividing x cubed by x squared, you know from your rules of division that when you divide, you subtract the powers. So 3 minus 2 would give me x to the first power. So this 3 is the coefficient of my x to the first power. So that will be 3x. And then minus 5, that will be my constant. And notice, that's the end of the polynomial. Normally, when you do synthetic division, the last number you have over here is the remainder. But in this case, since I had 2 divisors, the last 2 digits are my remainder. So if I had a number here, I would put this as a coefficient. Since this is x squared, this would be a coefficient of x, and then another constant over this divisor. But since I have zeros in both positions, this one has no remainder. So the quotient is 3x minus 5. In other words, if I were to multiply 3x minus 5 times x squared plus 3x plus 4, if we were to distribute all that out, we would get this polynomial. So it's pretty simple. It's rather more simple than doing long division.